It's chapters like this why I fucking love this series and why this series is so epic. This chapter, Sasuke gets Rinnegan, Naruto gets Sage of Six Paths mode. I'm just like, fucking amazing. One of the things that this chapter I felt stressed a lot was development for Naruto in many different aspects, not only in combat, but as a person as well, and it was even witnessed by Kakashi. I mean, it starts off with him going Sage mode, Yoton, Rasen, Shuriken, just this lava-looking Rasen Shuriken going straight at Madara, and you already see the development. I mean, he's pushing back Madara, cuts through the tree, and Madara's just like, God damn, he's so powerful, even though I'm in a weakened state, I can't do shit against him. And that was already in the beginning of the chapter an inkling, yeah. Naruto's gotten quite a bit stronger. Not only in last chapter we saw him kicking those spears away, but then in this chapter he does that, and it's just like, oh my god, Madara's trying to hit him, and he's dodging it while he's in the middle of an attack. You see the development with Naruto in this chapter. It's like, whatever Hagoromo told him and the conversation that they had, you can clearly see it affected him in a major way. Now, it was interesting to see the whole thing with Madara and the tree, how pretty much the tree spoke to him and said, 10 tails, absorb me, and then he absorbed the tree pretty much and put it inside of him. Instead of him just eating the fruit, he took the entire tree. So give him a leg, he takes the whole arm. You gotta live life in moderation. Yeah, no, I know, fuck it, whatever. And to be honest with you, when I saw that particular part, it was two things that went to my mind. First of all, the whole thing of, you know, how the 10 tails and all the beasts originally, they were trees or whatever, and it all started with this tree clan and whatnot. And maybe that was the, you know, the voice of the tree speaking or whatever in their clan or whatever. But also it reminded me for some reason of Kaguya Otsutsuki and pretty much Madara's hunger and quest for her power, because when you see like these eyes or something, it looked very similar to the shape of Kaguya Otsutsuki. I don't know if maybe the soul or the presence of Kaguya is in the tree. Maybe she ultimately, because we don't really know the full outcome of what happened to her. Maybe she was completely absorbed by the tree in the end. Maybe that's the outcome of somebody that's obtained that much power. Now, I will say the one thing that does bother me about all of this is the fact that Guy is pretty much there. He's a cripple at this point. His body looks like it's cracked lava. Like, you know, it looks like a volcano that's cracked all over. His bones have been shattered in so many different places. And yeah, okay, apparently he's going to live, which that kind of makes me feel a little certain way, because, I mean, 672 chapters hyped up that the 8 Gates kills you, and Naruto's touch kind of left him revived or whatever. So that's the one thing with this chapter. I'm kind of like, at the end of the day, yeah, he definitely should be dead right now, regardless of what touch. I mean, isn't he in a worse state? Like, for me, I would, if I was Guy, and I was in this crippled state where pretty much he's probably never going to be able to do anything again after this. His leg is shattered. There's just so many different things. I would look at Naruto like, you motherfucker, you should have let me go out in a blaze of glory. Like, how dare you stop me, and now I'm going to be crippled for the rest of my life. My life is ruined. Fuck you, you should have let me die. And comes the next Toby. It's because you didn't let me die. And is it just me, or did you get a little kick out of seeing Sasuke actually helping up Tobirama, taking the spear out of him, or taking the rod out of him to help him up? And it's kind of like, yeah, and Uchiha is helping you, so all that little segregation shit, and all the hatred you had against the Uchiha, one of them right now is kind of helping you out and helping to save the Shinobi universe. Maybe he should just reevaluate what he thinks about the Uchiha. I'm just saying. And when Madara saying the time has come for everything to become one, it really started again reminding me, like, I'm like, okay, is that Kaguya Otsutsuki's soul, or is that the Senju tree? Pretty much like them trying to say, yeah, it's time for us to get back what's ours. The chakra it definitely had me a little bit mysterious there, because we know from the previous chapters, Hagoromo basically said the power that Madara seeks is that of his mother's, that of his, you know, that strong power, and I think he definitely obtained it now. He definitely, the power up that he got with absorbing this tree, even though it felt a little bit ridiculous where, like, he just swallowed up a fucking tree, but he definitely obtained the power of, I feel as though it's Kaguya Otsutsuki. I think that he got, like, whatever happened to Kaguya, maybe she was absorbed by the tree in the end, she went mad with power or something, and she ultimately became a part of the tree, because it just really gave me that vibe, and it kind of really looked similar, and even some of the things, it just really seems as though that's what he was after, and he finally obtained it. And one of the biggest things of this chapter is really just, I can't stress, like, with all the amazing stuff that happened, don't get me wrong, it's epic, it's cool and everything, but I love to see the maturing of Naruto. Gaara's like, pretty much, let's have sake, and in Japan, the way he said it is pretty much kind of like a bonding ritual of like a maturity of some sort, and Naruto's like, yeah, sure, we'll have some sake, and like for Naruto, a kid for that matter, that people will perceive him to be, he showed a lot of maturity with that. Even Kakashi can realize that. Kakashi's like, Naruto? Like, what? So, I really just, out of everything, I appreciate that the most, because seeing him mature, not only as a fighter, not only that he has all this power, but as a person, as, you know, a human being, to see him mature this much, it's like, if you look back at the old Naruto and you see how far he's come and everything, you can almost really get chills thinking about the progression that this character has had. Like, regardless of what you want to say, maybe this character didn't get progression, this character didn't get development, Naruto has gotten so much character development, and this chapter displayed all of it, and I felt as though it was just really in a subtle manner, but so overwhelming at the same time that you could just see it, and it was done in a perfect stroke of development. Okay, Obito requesting Sakura to do something. He's like, I have one final request after Sakura thanked him. And I'm just thinking, what could his request be? How about bitch be useful for once? Alright, I'm terrible. But no, seriously, I'm curious what request could he possibly have of her to do. Either kill him afterward, or use her power to heal him real quickly so that way he could get back and help. Like, what one final request he had. And just him saying one final request and everything that happened in this chapter, like the setup for what seemingly is going to be the final clash. That's it, final clash, everything is done, everything has been set up. It really got me sad, I ain't gonna lie. It really got me sad, the fact that you can see Naruto is definitely ending. It's like, I don't even think the manga is gonna make it out of 2014 after seeing like Obito saying one final request. Like, one of the original villains is saying, yeah, I got just one time, help me out one time. So, you know, it really just gave me like a little bit of a sad thing. And like, with everything with this chapter, it really like pushed forward, like, you know, yes, it's setting up the progression and everything, but it also shows you that this series is indeed ending. Naruto has reached the point where, for the most part, he needed to reach. There's still some things you could say, and I'm sure he's still going to be Naruto after this, so he's still going to be silly and still jokey and everything, because that's who he is. Just because you mature doesn't mean you lose your personality. So, it's a bittersweet feeling with this one, because it's like, yeah, it was an amazing chapter. It did amazing setup. It progressed. It did everything that it needed to do. But it also displays that the series is ending soon. Now, was Madara bluffing, or was he being legit when he said he had complete immortality? Like, did he mean that in the sense of, yeah, I am totally this strong, that, yeah, I'm like practically immortal? Because at the end of the day, the only true immortality we've seen that he tossed away when he pretty much went from being an Edo Tensei zombie so that he could get to this point and become the Ten-Tails Jubi Jinchuriki. So he's not really like, what he basically is saying, I'm immortal, is it just that he feels he has this much power from having to absorb the tree. Now, he didn't even get one fruit, he got the entire tree. So is it that he's just this power lusting, like right now, like, oh my god, this power is so amazing, I'm immortal? Or is he being legit that as many times as they strike him, he's just going to keep on coming back? I mean, I know that he can heal himself, and probably that's why he feels as well, like, I could just keep healing. You know, this guy just did 8 gates of me and I just got back up. So I'm guessing more so him saying he has complete immortality is that he's not actually like when he was an Edo Tensei zombie, nothing you do will kill him. More so, I'm going to keep coming back with everything you throw at me because I'm just this fucking strong. And then we get to see that picture, which it spoke 1,000 words. Sasuke there with Naruto there. Now, Naruto's design, I will be 100% honest with you guys, I prefer the old Biju mode. Me personally, as far as like, you know, what I like to see, like I prefer the long jacket and, you know, the gritty look to him or whatever. But it still is a cool thing that at the end of the day he got an update, you know, and this is the Sage's 6 paths pretty much mode that he has, and like you see he has the spears around him and the staff, so he definitely, I think Hagoromo, what he did is he split his power in half. He gave half of it to one and half of it to the other, similar to the Suns, you know how the Suns split the power, whatever. And I'm curious because you see in one eye Sasuke seemingly has his regular Sharingan, you know, his Mangekyo, whatever, and then in the other eye, he has Rinnegan. So was that a conscious choice from Sasuke? Was it that Hagoromo only had enough power to split, you know, for that much for him to be able to activate it in one eye? I think, if anything, if it was a strategic move, it was a good one in his part, because we've seen when people have the Rinnegan, seemingly they can't do some of the techniques that they could do when they had their Sharingan. So it kind of makes more sense, like, yeah, I'm going to keep one eye so I could use my Sharingan abilities, like my Susanoo and everything, but then I'll have the other eye to have the abilities of the Rinnegan. And that's probably why, like Obito, he kept his own eye as well, because, you know, his Kamui was very vital to his fighting strategy. So that's probably why he kept one and the other, if he indeed did it in a strategic move. It wasn't just that Hagoromo only had enough to give him so that he could activate one eye. And honestly, in a sense, it really feels as though with this whole ending, a family struggle because, of course, you got to remember the incarnations, Asura, Indra, and then you got Kaguya, Sutsuki in the mix, and then you even have Hagoromo, and it all, in honesty, feels as though it's a family struggle, because I really feel as though, like what Hagoromo said, Madara is obtained or has obtained Kaguya's power and Kaguya's will, but then Naruto and Sasuke have the will of the grandchildren and the son. So it's almost as if it's like son versus mother or grandchildren versus mother. Maybe this is Kishimoto's commentary on something going on in his life, or just the everyday struggles of somebody that has to go against their mother's word or something, but it definitely felt that way. I don't know, maybe I'm misinterpreting the meaning of this, but that's what I really got from the end of this chapter. It was like son versus mother, or grandchildren and son versus mother, or grandchildren versus grandmother, something like that. That's the main thing that I felt at the end of this chapter when you got that power. And just the panels, the drawings in this one, Kishimoto went in, especially some of those Madara faces where he just looked sinister as fuck. The art in this one, it was just phenomenal. Overall, I gotta say, for a setup, for giving you this is going to be the final battle, for the progression of Naruto and Sasuke, for the progression of Madara, well, seemingly this is probably the limit. He's not going to get any stronger than this. 10 out of 10. I feel this chapter just did everything right. And I gotta say, out of everything that stood above was Naruto's maturity, and it just shows once again, manga's coming to a close, but it's doing it in a proper way. Let me know what you guys think, your thoughts. I need to know, what do you think regarding Naruto and Sasuke's transformation? Sasuke with the Rinnegan, Naruto with the Sage of Six Paths mode with the spears around him. I think, if anything, it would have been, I'm curious as to why Sasuke doesn't have some of the spears around him as well. Is it just that he doesn't want it? Is that just like an Ashura only thing, and that's why Indra doesn't have it? Like, I'm just curious, why doesn't he have that? Also, your thoughts on Guy escaping death. Do you feel as though it's, if anything, torture at this point? The spring youth, the fountain of youth is pretty much going to be crippled for the rest of his life because Naruto saved him. What are your thoughts on that? Your overall thoughts on this whole thing where it feels as though it's grandmother versus grandchildren or mother versus son? Like, do you feel that vibe as well with this chapter? Like, your overall thoughts of everything, because in all honesty, this chapter just went so much material, and it's like, when I can think of like 10 million things to talk about, shit was amazing. And hopefully Sakura accepts Obito's request and does something useful for once. I kid. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for the progression of this chapter, the setup for the final clash and the series that we all love, Naruto. ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.